What is going on, everybody? It's your boy, Dude, and your boy Raza, back with another video for the channel. Welcome back to the best sports podcast in the world, the Brown Boy Sports Talk. Raza, how you feeling today, buddy?
I'm feeling good, bro. Just chilling. I'm in college right now. How you feeling?
I'm doing good. It's good to see that you're doing well in college. Semester about to end. I know you guys see the jersey repping Chase Young. We'll get to him in a second. But before we
Rest
do
in
that,
peace.
let's talk about the NBA. The Golden State Warriors are now have the best record in the NBA at what is it? I don't remember, but
11-2.
11-2. Now, without Clay and James Wiseman, a great rim protector, and Clay Thompson, who will be back hopefully before Christmas break. He has been out since 2016. Raza,
2019.
2019. Sorry, I don't know why I said 2016. Thank you, Raza. Should the Warriors go all in this year?
2016 is when he said LeBron got his you know what happened in 2016. And then coming back to the Warriors this season. Uh I think they're playing great. Obviously they're 11-2, the best record in the NBA. I think they should be going all in for this season and the next couple of seasons because Steph Curry is 32. He's not 27, 28. He is 32. Klay Thompson is similar. Klay Thompson is like 30. So they're not gonna get young. Draymond Green is not 25. They're not getting any younger. And then they should make full use of all these guys. Like they're all at the back end of their prime. And then I don't see James Wiseman having a too big of a role either this season when he comes back healthy or next season because he's not gonna get the shots that he would with a younger team like a Pistons or someone like that, like a younger team. With the Warriors, he's just gonna rim protect and like run the court, just dunk the ball, protect the rim. But he has a whole skill set. He's one of the most skilled younger players in the league. So when healthy, he just needs to get back healthy, and I think they should go all in to make use of their guys' primes. The Steph Currys, the Klay Thompsons, the Draymond Greens, Andre Iguodala is his last season. I
Mm,
believe he said before the season that he's retiring.
yeah,
So I think they should make use of their guys right now.
I know. I agree. Steph Curry, the greatest shooter of all time. You still have Steve Kerr as head coach, Draymond Green, Andrew Wiggins. He's been playing pretty well the past couple of games, although he gets made fun of for being a bust, averaging 20. Still high.
Dunkhead twice.
You got dunked on Karl Anthony Towns' former teammate. This Warriors team, they're looking dangerous. Steph Curry, they just destroyed the Bulls. Steph Curry locked down Lonzo Ball. It was just this Warriors team is really, really good. And just can't wait to see what Clay does when he comes back. And if he comes back like at least 80%, the NBA should watch out. But moving on from the Warriors, let's talk about the team that plays in Canada, the Toronto Raptors. A question that we've seen. Siakam is back in the lineup, but should the Raptors trade Pascal Siakam from what they've seen from the rookie Scotty Barnes, who's been having an exceptional season?
Um, I believe they would have to trade Pascal Siakam because they already have. Have you seen how at OG and Anobi has been playing?
That
He's
brother
averaging
can
more than
ball.
20. He can ball both ends of the floor. Scotty Barnes is like similar type as OG and Anobi, and then they obviously have Fred VanVleet. They obviously have they got Precious Achua for Kyle Lowry from Miami.
Fred
They
VanVleet.
Yes,
VanVleet.
so they already have too many wings.
Mm-hmm.
So I think Pascal Siakam, it depends on the trade package because obviously they shouldn't give him away because he's an all-star caliber player. But if they can get back either a nice big man or they've been out last 3-4 years they've been trying to get a nice big man. Andre Drummond has been trying to they've been trying to get Andre Drummond for a while now, but not Andre Drummond. Some better big man I think they can get for Siakam or like like younger pieces. Somebody like we've seen like the Kings really interested in Pascal Siakam, and they can offer if they're willing to trade either Tyrese or Davion Mitchell because obviously they're not going to trade De'Aaron Fox. So if they can get either Tyrese or Davion Mitchell, like a package of young pieces, and like future picks. I believe they should trade Pascal Siakam to let um to let OG Anunoby and Scotty Barnes grow even more, although they've been playing great this season.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, this Raptors team, they haven't had an elite big man since Chris Bosh, right? I mean, Serge Ibaka, he was all right, but he wasn't great. So if they get that big man, hopefully they can potentially make
They
another
have
play.
Chris Boucher right now.
Chris Boucher, but his
He's
upside is
not
not,
elite,
yeah,
right?
he's not elite. But yeah, I completely agree. The Raptors, I think they should move Siakam. Scotty Barnes looking really promising, the kid from Florida. So we'll see how he does coming down the stretch of the season. But moving on to another subject, a guy that we've talked about, a guy that I want to see move on. Marvin Bagley, the second overall pick in 2018, if I'm not mistaken. I just
Over Luca.
over Luka and over Trae Young. What the Kings are just they're not playing him. Where do you want to see Marvin Bagley go? Personally, I want to see him go to Detroit because that's where all the young stars are, well, the young players are. Cade Cunningham, he's been playing great. Mans has been he had the game winner in Toronto or the game sealing bucket against the Raptors with his left hand. He's been playing great. Killian Hayes, he had I don't know if it's too soon to call him a bust, but he has been playing that well. And just a young team. I think they're Jeremy Grant still probably their best player. Where do you think Marvin Bagley should go?
I completely agree with you that he should go to either to the Pistons. I was thinking of the Rockets, but they already have Christian Wood and they drafted another big man. So to me, yeah, Detroit is obviously one of the places where he can go, where they have Killian Hayes. I'm not gonna call him a bust. It's his second year, and then Jeremy Grant is gonna get traded because next season is his last season on the contract. Like his contract, next season is his last year on this contract. So next year he's not gonna have that much of a trade value that he would this year because teams would be looking at expiring contracts and be like, why would they want those, players? So if he gets traded, I feel like because Jeremy Grant usually plays the four on the Pistons, so that would open up the four that Marvin Bagley wants to play. He doesn't want to play the five because he doesn't want to like be in the paint all the time. He wants to shoot jumpers and just like a young skilled big man would do. And I don't see the way Rashawn Holmes has been playing with the Kings. And as we all saw, Coach Luke Walton, who might get fired really really soon,
Mm-hmm.
he's
Yep.
on the hot chair. He actually asked Marvin Bagley to go in the game, but Marvin Bagley refused to go in the game. I've been watching NBA for almost a decade. I've never seen something like that ever happen.
Mm-hmm.
And Marvin, I wouldn't say he's a bust because he has got chances, but he's always been hurt, man. You can never like he has to get healthy first, and then we can
Assess him.
see
Yeah.
yeah assess him. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, Marvin Bagley. I really think he left Duke too early. I think he should have stayed one more year. Second overall pick. The Kings yet again just I don't know. I mean, they have Harrison Barnes, they have De'Aaron Fox, but other than that, if you're not playing,
Tyrese.
yeah, Tyrese Halliburton, Davion Mitchell, those guys, yeah, they're young, but like if you're not playing one of your young players and he's upset, you gotta trade him one way or another. So Detroit, that would be fun to watch if he goes there. But moving on to another subject in hand, our favorite NBA teams. Let's talk about before we talk about my beloved Washington Wizards, who are number one in the Eastern Conference. Let's talk about the LA Lakers, who got blown out at home last night by the Chicago Bulls. Lonzo Ball had a 27-point game, had more threes than the whole LA Lakers team combined. Anthony Davis got ejected. Raza, what's your thoughts on the Lakers right now?
Oh, Lonzo Ball, the way he's been playing this season, he's playing when he got drafted number two overall by the Lakers in 2017. Magic Johnson said his number would be in the Raptors one day. That's too much pressure. Magic Johnson, the greatest point guard in the history of the NBA, telling you that your number will be retired by the Los Angeles Lakers. That's some pressure. And then when you have a dad like LeVar Ball, before Lonzo Ball even entered the NBA, LeVar Ball said he's better than Stephen Curry.
Mm,
That paints a whole target on Lonzo Ball's back. And as we all remember, the first game of the season of his rookie year, it was the Clippers against the Lakers. Pat Bev, the way Pat Bev
locked
dogged
him up.
Lonzo Ball.
Yeah.
Patrick Beverly had 30 points in that game, and Lonzo Ball had like 7 points.
He had 3, I think.
Lonzo Ball got locked down by Patrick Beverly. That made it was such a target. And then I'm not even tripping about trading him because we got Anthony Davis back, and then we won the championship next year. But then he, after 2 years with the Pelicans, it doesn't work for him with Zion's injuries and stuff. Although it was a pretty good duo, I actually liked it, but it never worked out, and Zion was always hurt. Then he goes to the Chicago Bulls, signing a 4-year, $80+ million
Tampering illegally, but
I think he's obvious. Like with the Pelicans and the Lakers, he was supposed to be before LeBron got to Lakers, he was the main guy with the ball in his hand. But with the Bulls, they have Zach LaVine, they have DeMar DeRozan,
Vooch.
they have Vucevic, obviously. They have Kobe White off the bench. They have Caruso. They have so many ball handlers that Lonzo Ball can focus on playing defense that he's elite at. He's number 8 in defensive win shares this season so far. He's an elite defender. Yesterday I saw him. He's pretty versatile. Yesterday I was watching him guard Carmelo Anthony, who's like 6'9", and Lonzo's like 6'6". So Lonzo Ball, like Ben Simmons needs to look at Lonzo Ball. Lonzo Ball, when he came into the NBA, I'm a Laker fan, so I watched him closely. He shot like 50% from the free throw line. Last season, he was like 78%. Now he's 83%. And then from the three, when he came to the NBA, he was shooting like over here, bro.
Terrible.
He was shooting 30% from three. Now he was under 30. Now he's 45% from three this season. Lonzo Ball, man, the way he's been playing, it's absolutely brilliant. And coming to the Lakers, man, the way Russell Westbrook, so I'm tired of that man. He dribbles a basketball like a football. We obviously know a football cannot be dribbled. He's a running back who thinks that he can just get through the defense, bro. There's a thing called drawing a charge. I don't think he knows anything about that. And then his jumper is so bad. Yesterday he was 0 for 6. The thing with Russ is that he shoots so bad from the three. And he keeps shooting, bro. You're not Steph Curry, bro.
He's got Steph Curry's confidence.
Bro, he has more confidence than Steph Curry, bro. And then, bro, Frank Vogel, bro, you gotta be better, bro. He's trying to play Rondo and Westbrook and like a center and Dwight Howard / DJ together, bro. Those are obviously the center can't shoot, and then Rondo's very, very bad from three. Russell Westbrook is terrible. The only two players that are worse than Russell Westbrook shooting threes on the Lakers are Dwight Howard and DeAndre Jordan. Russell Westbrook, Frank Vogel got to be better. The teams the lineups he's putting out there with Rondo, Westbrook, DeAndre Jordan, Anthony Davis, and like a shooter, bro. 3 players who don't shoot at all with Anthony Davis, who's under 25% from three this season. That's 4 players who can't shoot, basically. You cannot put that lineup out there. I know why he would, because Russell Westbrook goes crazy, He doesn't care. If someone hits a shot, Russell Westbrook's trying to go one-on-one, and he's trying to play hero ball. You cannot do that with the Lakers, man. If a team's trying, that would work in the regular season, but thinking of long-term, LeBron's coming back on Friday, we heard, against the Celtics. We play the Bucks tomorrow, Wednesday. So thinking long-term, Russell Westbrook, yesterday we heard that DeMar said the Lakers deal was done before they traded for Russ. Man, we could have had DeMar, but we have Russ now, so we got to work with it. But Frank Vogel got to be better. Russ got to be way better. But the worst thing happened to us is that LeBron got hurt, because not only that, obviously he's the best player in the NBA and probably ever. Not only that, his presence, he demands the ball. Anthony Davis is not the aggressive guy who's going to be like, I want the ball. Yesterday, the Bulls, every time Anthony Davis touched, it's not even his fault. Every time I counted them, it was 15 consecutive possessions where Anthony Davis got the ball and they double teamed him. They didn't let the man get off a shot, and it's his greatness that he still got 20 points. But since LeBron's out, Russell Westbrook is the decision maker. So he's a terrible, terrible. As you probably know, he was on your team last year. He's gonna he's gonna have 20 points, but on 25 shots. He's gonna have 12 assists, but 8 turnovers. And he can rebound with he's an elite rebounder. But one thing you can get with Russ, he's not gonna cheat the game. He's gonna give you 110%. But sometimes he overdoes stuff. You can't you gotta be patient. He's gotta be better. The Lakers gotta be better. As AD said, we suck right now.
Yeah, and he did get ejected yesterday. So, did you think that ejection was clean, or do you think the refs were just being NBA refs?
So what happened was that Anthony Davis missed a layup, and then his shoe came off. So whenever that happens, usually refs they let the player put back on the shoes. But when he was trying to tie his laces, they started playing, and AD was like, "Man, this is some BS." And then he already had a technical before for arguing with the ref. Whenever we were losing, bro, we argue too much with the ref. I see LeBron in street clothes coming all the way from his seat all the way to where the scoreboard or whatever it's called is
Sport table.
with scorer's table talking to the ref. Bro, I know you're LeBron James, bro, but go back and sit down.
Yeah.
And he be coming all the way over there with no drip, man. He needs to work on his drip too.
But I mean, I agree, man. The Lakers slump, it just goes to show who won the Russell Westbrook trade. Am I right?
No.
But now
We'll see.
let's talk about the number one team in the Eastern Conference, my Washington Wizards, the team that everyone thought would be in the lottery next year. Hopefully that won't happen. The Wizards, man, I mean, last night they came back down 19 without Bradley Beal, who will be back tomorrow. He's dealing with some personal issues. Down 19 against the Pelicans. He came back. Danny Avdija, he's got to be up there for one of the top 10 defenders in the league right now. That man has been on a tear. I told everyone coming into the season that Scott Brooks single-handedly ruined Danny Avdija's rookie year before his injury. Put him in the corner. He's not a spot-up shooter. And now he's a guy that can run the floor, be a point forward. And coming into the draft, he wasn't even a great defender. He wasn't scouted as one. But now he is looking like a top defender, especially for this team. The Wizards, man, they're playing great without Bradley Beal. And tomorrow they're playing the Hornets, and Beal will come back. What's your thoughts on the Wizards? What's your thoughts on the Wizards? And do you think they'll sustain this come the end of the season?
I don't see them being the first seed for the entirety of the season. I can see that obviously I think they can make the playoffs. They can be like the top 5, top 6 seed. I can see that. But I wanted to give flowers to Danny Avdija, man. As you said, Scott Brooks, the entirety of last season, Scott Brooks would have him in the corner shooting threes. He's as you said, he's not a spot up shooter. And with Wes Unseld Jr., he's in the post making moves. He had like 3 and 1s yesterday. Danny Avdija, when he got drafted, he was supposed to be like top 3, top 4 pick. So Chicago had the number 4 overall pick with Patrick Williams. And Danny Avdija fell to number 8, I believe it was, for the Wizards. And then Scott Brooks couldn't make use of him. He was supposed to be a scorer when he came out of college. He the defender. The way he plays bro, the way he played Giannis, bro. Giannis is a great player. He's gonna drop 25, 26, no matter what. But as a defender, their job is to make them less efficient. They're great players. They're gonna put up 25, 26.
For sure.
But Danny Avdija, man, the way he's been playing,
He threw up the X.
KCP, man, KCP. That's one person I want back from the Russell Westbrook trade. KC3. And then Kuzma has been, Kuzma's been
oh
solid.
My goodness, I forgot my boy Kyle Kuzma. The game against
LeBron won him a ring.
The Cavaliers.
LeBron won him the ring.
The reason why Cleveland has, the reason why LA has a ring recently.
Oh, okay.
But Kyle Kuzma, I told everybody that this man is not a scrub. He was just under the bright lights of LA and playing under the LeBron effect. And when young players leave LeBron, they will become more efficient. And we've seen that time in and time again. Kyle Kuzma is here to stay. I love Kyle Kuzma. I love this depth, like I've always said before. Wes Until Jr. This team is headed to the right direction. Everybody, and I mean even this guy that I'm talking to right now said the Wizards were going to be a bottom team a bottom 10 team in the NBA, and he's eating
Said
crow.
playing.
You said barely playing. Let's not lie now.
I
But
said 10 seed.
okay. He wants to lie on camera. But like I said before, proving the haters wrong. It's time. The currently 10-3, the best record in about I think 1974. I don't even remember in a long time. We deserve it as Wizards fans, and DC is rising, baby. But moving on from the NBA, let's talk about the NFL Week 10 recap, and starting with the Thursday night football game. The Baltimore Ravens lose to the Miami Dolphins 22-10. Raza, what happened that game?
Man, Dolphins did not let the Ravens like run game do anything. Ravens are one of the best like running teams in the entire league. We know their running backs are out, but the way they like next man up mentality, and we all know Lamar Jackson is the best running quarterback in the league right now, and one of the best all time, obviously. There was a lot of drops that like from like there's like 3 drops by Hollywood Brown. Like Lamar, he can be better, but those were receivers' fault. Like if Lamar hits somebody, if a quarterback, not even Lamar, if a quarterback hits somebody, we're gonna talk about it next. But Tom Brady against y'all, when the quarterback throws you the ball and hit your hands, like you have to catch it as a receiver. And there was like 4 or 5 catches that the Ravens receivers dropped, and then we saw when Jacoby Brissett was out, Brian Flores made a bold decision by inserting Tua. I didn't. That was a bold decision. And then Jalen Waddle, my boy, he's a future star. Mike Gesicki had like 3-4 drops, but Dolphins defense like they dominated. They played like obviously they're not a good team, but the way they absolutely dominated. Uh, like their defense dominated, and then Sammy Watkins fumbled a catch, which resulted in a touchdown. It's not even Lamar's fault.
Mhm.
If receivers can't catch, what can a quarterback do, man?
Yeah. Any given Sunday, man. There was also a play where it was called back where the offensive lineman caught a screenplay, and man, it kind of reminded me of your days playing football, Raza. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But it was a great play to see, man. I wish
Good
it
thing I
counted.
didn't play O line.
But the Dolphins, they pull off the upset. The Ravens, I don't know if this will cause them some problems down the stretch of the season. We'll see how they do come postseason time. But moving on to the team that plays in Texas, the Dallas Cowboys, they beat the Atlanta Falcons 43-3 and moved to 7-2, while the Falcons fall to 4-5. What happened? I don't know. At one point, I was looking at the game and it was 7-3. Atlanta was trailing, and then boom! The Cowboys just kept on building their league. The Cowboys. What do you think, Raza?
Super Bowl contender, baby.
Okay.
40, 43-3, beating any team in the NFL 43-3 is extremely special. And then we even saw the Falcons Twitter tweeting out the 28-3 against the Patriots, obviously in Super Bowl. But I thought we played great, man. Our defense absolutely dominated all 3 of our corners, Lewis Brown and Trevon Diggs. They all had interceptions. Trayvon has 8 interceptions now in 9 weeks because we had a bye week. So in 9 games, he has 8 interceptions already. The record is 16, I believe. Dak went crazy. He threw for 300 yards. Our running game was like Zeke had 2 touchdowns, but like we didn't run the ball too much. We didn't need to, because I think when we are ahead, that's when our offense goes like crazy, because we are like throwing like passing team as most teams in the NFL are nowadays. But it was 42-3 at the start of the fourth quarter when Dak got out the game, and Cooper Rush came into the game. And CD Lamb, man, I predicted before the season started that I told you when the draft happened that he's the best wide receiver in the draft.
Not better than Justin Jefferson.
I don't know. Yeah, okay. Okay, so second best receiver in the draft.
Mm,
But CeeDee Lamb had also had 2 touchdowns, man, 94 yards. As I said before, Zeke ran really well and had 2 touchdowns. Michael Parsons, man,
mm.
he's my defensive rookie of the year.
Yeah, I
But
agree. I agree.
I believe he's in the rookie. I mean, the defensive player of the year conversation. The way he's been playing, Michael Parsons looking like a stud out there. He didn't play his last year at college at Penn State. He didn't play, but like whenever I watch the game, he jumps out on me.
He's an
Like
animal, bro. He's just
he's a whole
everywhere.
animal. Michael Gallup came back and had 7 catches for 42 yards. And next week it's gonna be even a better game. We hope it's at Kansas City, Cowboys against Kansas City.
That should
Uh,
be a really good game. That might be a high scoring game. We'll see.
I
But
think it's gonna be a shootout. I think it's gonna be
yeah,
like 38-34, something like that.
the Cowboys bounced back from that loss against the Denver Broncos at home, and they're just playing at a high level. Nothing really much to say. They're playing like Super Bowl contenders. But will they go to the Super Bowl? Probably not.
Yes.
Moving on to the next game, the Titans beat the Saints 23-21 at home. No Alvin Kamara, Trevor Siemian at quarterback. Ryan Tannehill has been quietly putting up a good amount of games recently. The Titans, man, they beat the Saints last week. They beat the who is it? I forgot. They beat a really good team. They've been playing great football. What's your thoughts on the Titans right now without Derrick Henry?
The Titans obviously they don't have Derrick Henry, and Adrian Peterson is obviously not the Adrian Peterson that we know. Coming back after not playing the season so far. As you said, no Alvin Kamara. I mean um, the Saints are kind of shorthanded. Obviously, no Michael Thomas. Um, no quarterback basically. No Alvin Kamara. And then Trevor Simeon, I thought he played cool. He had 300 yards, no interceptions. That's pretty good. Like the backup quarterbacks, like in the league, we see they usually throw so many interceptions. He didn't have any interceptions there. He threw 2 touchdowns. I think Ryan Tannehill, the Titans are a running game. Obviously, Derrick Henry is the best running back in the league, so they are the best running team in the league. But they're not a passing team. So Ryan Tannehill, what he needs to do, and he's been doing that, he doesn't throw too many touchdowns. He's not a guy who's gonna throw like 350 for 350, 400 yards. He's like 200, 250. Somewhere in between with no interceptions. That's all. Like that's all.
Yeah.
He just needs to play it safe. And then Marcus Johnson went off for 100 yards also, and that I don't think we should talk more about this game. Both teams suck.
No, I agree. No, the Titans. I think they might
Now
make it.
they're gonna suck now with Derrick Henry. No, Derrick Henry.
But the Saints, I think they should really move on from Jameis Winston. I know he's injured, but they need to draft a quarterback in this year's draft. I want to see them maybe Malik Willis would be interesting there, or Matt Corral. We'll see how that goes. But moving on to the next game, the Buffalo Bills beat the Jets 45-17. Nothing really much said. Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs was toying with them. Gabriel Davis had over 100 yards. Mike White as era has officially ended, Jets fans. He had 4 interceptions. Buffalo was all over him. Joe Flacco even got in the game. The Jets, man, Zach Wilson is still the quarterback. Mike White had his time, but let's be realistic. There was a reason why Zach Wilson was drafted number 2 overall. And the Bills bounced back from a terrible loss last week against the Jaguars 9-6. It was really nice to see the Bills, man. Where do you see them in the playoff time?
Bills, I can see them going to Super Bowl easily for sure. The Bills, they have a crazy offense, obviously with Josh Allen. They have Stephon Diggs playing like his brother out there, Trevon Diggs. And then they obviously have Cole Beasley. They have so many weapons on the offensive end, and just not that they're ranked number 2 on Pro Football Focus for the entirety of the season so far. So their defense has been dominating also. And then, like you said, Josh Allen had 366 yards. Stephon Diggs had 162 yards with only 8 catches. Gabriel Davis over 100 yards. So for the Jets, I think they shouldn't be trying too much. If they can get like a top 2, top 3 pick, obviously they have the quarterback of their future. So if they can draft like a really like a top like offensive weapon for For Zach Wilson, I think that can really help them in the future, you know. But for this season, I think they're pretty much done and they need to play for the draft pick.
No, I agree. They should just tank and get a better draft pick because they also have that draft pick from the Jamal Adams trade. But moving on, another AFC South matchup. The Colts beat the Jaguars 23-17. Ugly game, but I think we have to talk about it. Jonathan Taylor, man, he might be a top 3 running back in this league. I think he's getting up there. Next year for sure, he will be a top 5 pick in fantasy. I think top 3. This guy has been on a tear. The Colts just love running the ball. They have that great offensive line led by Quinn Nelson, Frank Wright, offensive minded head coach. Raza, what do you think about Jonathan Taylor?
Jonathan Taylor, man, as you said, he's going to be a top 5 pick in fantasy next season. I've been trying to trade for him for the longest. Now he's had 7 consecutive games with a touchdown and over 100 yards in this game also. Man, 7 consecutive games with a touchdown, man, that's hard to do. And the Colts, Carson Wentz, all he needs to do is not turn the ball over because their defense is pretty good. So all he needs to do is make less mistakes so Jonathan Taylor can keep running the ball and they can play it safe. And they're always going to be in the game because of their defense. So all he needs to do is not throw too many interceptions like he did that one game where he threw like a left-handed ball for a pick six. Man, he all he needs to do is take care of the ball and they can be solid.
Yeah, I completely agree. The Colts, they're trending upwards. But let's talk about the team in Washington that plays in Maryland, taking down the Super Bowl champs, a thing that the Cowboys could not do. The football team beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 29-19. It was a crazy game. Chase Young is out for the year. Sadly, he got hurt in the second quarter. It was a terrible injury. Hopefully, prayers up to him that he'll get back sooner rather than later because that man is a man amongst boys. And Terry McLaurin got hurt in the middle of the game. He came back. Brendan Sheriff got hurt. There was a lot of injuries throughout the game, but somehow this team just finds a way to do it. I don't understand. They have the talent. The coaching is somewhat there, and doing it against a Bucks team that you can't run the ball against. It's when I saw the first run play, I just saw Devin White shot out of a cannon. This man was everywhere. He had a fumble recovery. He was just I think he had multiple sacks. I'm pretty sure so many tackles. That man, if we had Devin White, if any team in the NFL or defensive wise, defensive coordinators would love to have him on any team because that man he's just an animal. Like I said before, like Micah Parsons, he's everywhere and he's that guy. But like I said, Terry McLaurin just it was a 3rd and 5, and it was the final drive where we scored a touchdown where he literally caught the first down. Just the white head, the safety, and the Bucks secondary know how to hit because they really hit hard. Hits him, and I thought Terry McLaurin was about to die because he looked like he was concussed. He gets up, hand on the ball, and just starts flexing. The crowd was going crazy. Terry McLaurin is a baller. He is a pro baller this year. There is no question. The defense, Jonathan Allen had another great game. The man from I don't know. Do you think McLaurin's not a pro baller?
I thought you were gonna say he's a top 5 wide receiver.
He's a top 10 wide receiver. It will be top 5 sooner rather than later. But moving on, Taylor Heineke had a pretty good game. He only had 1 touchdown, but yeah, no interceptions, which is something good to see.
Can I talk about Washington?
Yeah, no, give me 1 second. I still think, Raza, that Taylor Heineke could be the franchise QB. He just needs to have a stronger arm. This is his first year as a starter. I know he's 28. That's fair to it's not old, but it's not young. He just needs a stronger arm. If he can do that against the Bucks defense, he can do it on any defense. He's just making those mistakes. I know you're saying that, but I'll let you handle the floor.
Man, I think Taylor Heineke has 10th place number. You know, we all saw what he did in the playoffs last year. So I think he always plays good. He always gets out for the GOAT. You know, he wants to show out against him. And then shout out to Terry McLaurin, man. That was a great catch. As you said, I thought he died too, man. He got hit hard. Talking about the drive, man. That drive lasted for 10 minutes and 10 minutes and 29 seconds, guys. That's the longest drive of this season, and that's the longest fourth quarter drive since 1974.
Yeah.
It's been almost 50 years, bro. 10 minutes, 26 seconds drive, and then they didn't even let the GOAT get the ball back.
That's how you beat Tom Brady. You don't let him get the ball back. It was a 4th and goal. At first, I wanted to kick a field goal, but then I said, Riverboat Ron, you go for it because even if you don't get it, you have
It's
30
99
seconds,
yards.
99 yards. We all know Brady doesn't have a strong arm. So it was a great decision. We win. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The whole game, I was like, when are we gonna blow the game? When are we gonna blow the game? When are we gonna blow it? Cameron Brate scored a touchdown. I was like, oh, the game's over. But then we came back and scored. And then Mike Evans just killed Kendall Fuller on a swim move. I thought it was illegal. Brady had 2 interceptions in the first quarter. Although one was on the receiver for not catching, the second one was a terrible throw. Tom Brady, the Buccaneers, are they still a Super Bowl contenders?
And obviously they're a Super Bowl contender, but I
Yep.
don't see them making the Super Bowl. I don't see
Oh my goodness. You're counting out the GOAT. Jeez.
they are a contender, but I don't see them. I can see the Packers beating them. I can see the Cowboys. No bias, but
Oh.
I can see the Rams beating them. We're gonna talk about the Rams. What happened to them last night? I can see them beating them. I mean, they're obviously a contender. You know, when you have Tom Brady, you're always going to be a contender. But they have injuries. You know, no Antonio Brown. Bruce Arians said yesterday that after the game that Antonio Brown's still in a walking boot. He might be out for the year. Antonio Brown might
Oh
be out for the
man.
year. Chris Godwin, he was like 50-50 to play against y'all yesterday. 2 days ago, he had a broken foot. Um, and then just their secondary, man. Um, all their main guys on the secondary are out, and then they replaced them with Richard Sherman, who was also out.
Yeah,
So
but I wanted to
they're
see
just
Richard. Terry McLaurin was gonna cook Richard Sherman. That guy can barely is so old. But I'm telling you, man, the Buccaneers, they better watch out. I mean, people better watch out for the Buccaneers because when Brady is mad, he'll he'll go off. And they play the Giants next week, so we'll see how that goes. But for the football team, who knows? Will this turn the season around? Who knows?
can y'all make the
And
playoffs?
oh, maybe fight for that 7th seed. Who knows? The NFC is weak, but the football team, I want to say a great defensive plan. I didn't see the Bucks go deep at all. Brady was just checking down to Leonard Fournette most of the game, which I like because I have him on fantasy. A great game plan by Ron Rivera and the defensive coordinator Jack Del Rio. A great team win. I'm proud of this team. They play hard and they deserve that win. But
You said you might or might not make the playoffs. I know somebody who's definitely making the playoffs.
yeah, they won't do anything in the playoffs. So,
He
but
will probably win the Super Bowl.
moving on. The Patriots destroyed the Browns 45-7. Ever since that loss, the overtime loss against the Cowboys, the Patriots have just been winning. Jacoby Myers finally gets a receiving touchdown. Mac Jones is playing like the best quarterback from that draft. Raza, are the Patriots a team that could make the Super Bowl this year from the AFC?
I don't see them making the Super Bowl, but I can see them making some noise in the playoffs. You know, Bill Belichick, as we all know, he's the best coach in the NFL.
NFL
Mac
history.
Jones, yes. Mac Jones obviously really talented. You know, he's not the he's not turning the ball over anymore. You know, at the start of the year he was turning the ball over too much, and now 45-7, bro. That they absolutely dominated. Hunter Henry had 2 touchdowns. As you said, Jacoby Myers finally caught his first career touchdown. And then Baker Mayfield, bro. People need to stop thinking of Baker Mayfield as the #1 overall pick. As I said last week's podcast too, Baker Mayfield is an average quarterback at best. People used to blame OBJ for uh, Cleveland's losses. He had nothing to do. They didn't have OBJ this game. What did they do? Baker Mayfield, every time he loses, they say he was hurt. Bro, when he went out the game, it was 31-7. So stop blaming everything on OBJ. If Baker Mayfield is not that guy, he should not have been the #1 overall pick. Baker Mayfield is average at best. He's not the quarterback of the future.
Mm.
They need the running game to play great. They need Baker Mayfield to throw less than 30 times for them to win games because their running team would make Chubb and Kareem Hunt. So whenever Baker Mayfield throws more than 30 times, let's say, they always lose because he's just not efficient at all.
No, I agree. Baker Mayfield, I just don't think he was first overall pick worthy. But hopefully the Browns do get healthy and the Kevin Stefanski can turn this team around because they were just one play away from making the AFC Championship last year. But moving on, let's talk about the most interesting game of the week last week. The Pittsburgh Steelers and Detroit Lions, they had a tie 16-16. The Pittsburgh Steelers are overrated. They're not a good team. Ben Roethlisberger is terrible. He is a terrible quarterback. That man needs to retire. I'm a Big Ben hater. That man sucks. He sucks. Now, granted, it wasn't his fault that they lost. It was a lot of things. They could both teams could have easily won the game. It was a sluggish fest, but the Lions won't go 0-17. That's good, but the Steelers are overrated. They didn't have Chase Claypool. Big Ben was not playing, of course. I still think he's not good. Mason Rudolph, whatever happens when Big Ben retires, they're gonna have a problem. Same thing with the Packers because whoever's gonna play quarterback, they just haven't got anybody. Dwayne Haskins is not the guy, as I know. I know a lot about that. Mason Rudolph is definitely not that guy. So, what was your thoughts on the game, Raza?
Bro, Big Ben, although he didn't play the game, he reminds me of you. Like you both can't move.
I am pretty big. I consider myself Big Ben too when I play, but realistically, I just don't think Big Ben's a good quarterback, man.
Yeah, he
His
needs to
prime
retire.
was good, but he's not that. The Steelers need to move on. They need to draft a guy.
Yes, talking about quarterbacks, Jared Goff, bro. He he's trash, bro. Jared Goff is so trash.
Yeah.
And then they came off 8 straight losses, and then they had a tie in this game, tying the game at 16. They missed the field goal. That's what bad teams do. They somehow find a way, even if they're winning, they either blow it or they find a way somehow to lose the game when they should have
Mm,
easily won the game.
mm.
Obviously, as you said, no Big Ben. DeAndre Swift had over 130 yards. Mason Rudolph had 245 yards with an interception and a touchdown. Najee Harris, man,
Yeah,
Najee
Najee
Harris.
Harris.
He next year, I think he's gonna be a top 5 running back in the league. Najee Harris is that guy, bro. He can catch the ball. He can run with it. But I think they're over dependent on Najee Harris because he's so good. Like I don't want him to get hurt in the next 2-3 years because they overuse him like crazy. Like
I agree.
they,
Yeah.
they have no passing game with Big Ben who can't push the ball down the field, so they have to be dependent on him. And talking about the Steelers, man, TJ Watt also got hurt, but they said it's not serious, like too serious. Defensive Player of the Year. What's your thoughts on that?
I still think Miles Garrett is defensive player of the year. That man is just unbelievable. But TJ Watt, he's definitely one of a top two pass rusher in this league behind Miles Garrett, in my opinion. But let's move on to the
Cam is back.
game. The Cam Newton Superman is back in the building. Had 2 touchdowns. When he yelled, "I am back," I literally got chills from 2016. It was Cam Superman is back. The Panthers destroy the Cardinals without Kyler Murray and DeAndre Hopkins. The Cardinals did suffer, but Christian McCaffrey had a great game. The Panthers, man, do you think they could make that 7th seed in the playoffs?
Now that they have Cam as a quarterback, I don't trust any of the other. Sam Darnold is trash. I don't trust any of the backup quarterbacks on that team. But Cam, man, although he's not the Cam of 2015 MVP Cam, but he's still Cam Newton. You can trust the aura he brings, just his spirit. He raises the spirit of the locker room, like he's best friends with Christian McCaffrey. He just lifts up the environment, and I can see them being the 7th seed and then lose to Dallas. But Carolina, man, like they have a really good defense. With yeah, I won't be surprised if next week Cam is the starter because I don't trust their back
Yeah,
quarterback.
and the Panthers do play Ron Rivera, so that would be a really interesting game. There'll be a lot of headlines. We'll see how that goes. If
Let's
any
go,
coach,
Cam.
if any coach knows how to game plan against Cam Newton, it'll be Ron Rivera himself. So that would be.
400 yards.
And I don't think so. It'll be an exciting game. I think the football team will come on top, but we'll see how it goes. Next game, the Minnesota Vikings beat the LA Chargers 27-20. And it just goes to show that the Vikings have the talent to beat any team in this league. It just depends on execution at times where they fail to do that when it comes to crunch time. And I think a lot of that comes to coaching. But what was your thoughts on that game, the Dalvin Cook situation?
Yeah, they can beat anybody but the Cowboys. You know, Kirk Cousins is trash against the Cowboys, especially prime time. But coming back to the games, you know, as you said, Vikings beat Chargers 27-20. First time this season, Justin Herbert didn't put up 330 plus yards against an NFC team. He had 195 yards with a pick and a touchdown. Kirk Cousins had nearly 300 yards with no picks. Dalvin Cook, man, had over 100 yards again. But the man, the legend, Justin Jefferson, 2 weeks after getting locked down by my boy Trevon Diggs, put up a monster game, 9 catches for 143 yards. It's between him and CD Lamb. We're gonna see who's the best quarterback, not quarterback, best receiver in that draft. We're gonna see that. But Justin Jefferson, man, he's he's one of the best young wide receivers in the league, honestly.
I agree. He is that guy, and we'll see if the Vikings could string enough wins to potentially make the playoffs. But I don't think so because they need to fire Mike Zimmer and maybe just tank for a better draft pick. But moving on, the Packers shut out the Seattle Seahawks 17-0. The first time Seattle has been shut out in the Russell Wilson era. Russell Wilson just did not look healthy. Jamal Adams had his first interception as a safety. That was pretty fun to see, but I don't know. I think the Seahawks, they're just, they're a train wreck. And if Russell Wilson's not playing QB, they're a bottom five team in the league, man.
As you said, Aaron, Lyre Rogers is back. They beat the Seahawks, shut them down for the first time in the Russell Wilson era. So it's been 10 years since they last got shut down. Aaron Jones, he was crying after he went in the medical tent, and they said he's out for at least 2-3 weeks. So it's been 150 starts, and it's the first time Russell Wilson didn't score a single point. Uh, I mean, Russell Wilson, as you said, he looked like he was, he still didn't look like he obviously didn't look like Russell Wilson. He didn't look like himself. He had a lot of like inaccurate passes. He tried to force it too many times to Metcalf. You know, he had two rusty picks. Seattle is now 3-6, not in the playoffs. But I still believe in Russ. He
Mhm. Yeah,
you
just
can't count him out.
yeah.
And Metcalf and Tyler Lockett, they both struggled big time.
Mhm.
Metcalf had 3 catches for 26 yards, and then he got into an argument,
Ejected.
and then he got ejected. Yeah,
He tried to go
and
back
then
in the game too. That was kind of funny.
that was funny. And I can see, since Aaron Jones might be out for at least a couple of weeks, I can see AJ Dillon being
Oh yeah,
being really really
definitely.
good.
Yeah.
Draft him in your fantasy. That's
No,
some
pick him
fantasy
up in
advice for y'all.
fantasy right now if he's on the
Pick him up. Pick
on
him
free
up.
agent. Yeah.
Oh shit, I'm about to do that right now.
But moving on, let's talk about the NFC East team, the Philadelphia Eagles. They beat the Broncos at Denver 30-13. Jalen Hurts and Devontae Smith look well, and the Broncos are just inconsistency, man. You destroy the Cowboys at their place, and then you lose to the in a bad manner as well to the Eagles at home. I don't know what to say, man. Teddy Bridgewater, I don't think he's a good quarterback. I don't think he's starting caliber worthy. I think he's a bridge quarterback at best. What's your thoughts on the Broncos in the game in general?
Terry Bridgewater is a bridge quarterback.
Yeah.
Nice. No, but on a serious note, I think Jalen Hurts and Devontae Smith. I think they can be a really good duo. They both are really young. I think they can be a really good duo in the future. Broncos went back to earth. After beating my Cowboys. Bridgewater had no touchdowns and no picks. Eagles had 214 rushing yards, two Broncos 96 yards. That's all you need to know. They locked down Melvin Ingram. Patrick couldn't do anything. Like they didn't let their offense do anything. And it was 30-13, but trust me, it was even. It was it was over before it even started for the Broncos. I feel like.
Yeah. And that's pretty much it. The Broncos just I don't think they're that good of a team. But they need to fire Vic Fangio. But moving on, let's talk about another AFC West team, the Kansas City Chiefs. I think they finally, well, Mahomes, he's got his swagger back. 5 touchdowns, destroying the Oakland Raiders, 41-14, or Las Vegas Raiders, 41-14 on primetime Sunday Night Football. The Raiders, they will be falling apart. They always have their midseason collapse, and officially started last week. Are the Chiefs finally back?
Yeah, the Chiefs are back. I feel bad for the Raiders. You know, they always have different situations. Now they have the John Gruden and then Henry Ruggs situation, and then they were connected to OBJ. You know, they just have so much. Like, I feel bad for their players. You know, they have so many like mental like situations. Like, they're involved in so many like different cases. And then coming back to the game, you know, as you said, Chiefs got their swag back. Mahomes, the first quarterback in NFL history to have multiple 400-yard games with 5 touchdowns and no interceptions. That's crazy, man. If you talk about how many great quarterbacks have played this game, no one has ever done that. And Mahomes is the first one. Uh, they had so many nice plays, you know. Did you like the Williams catch at the end? That was crazy.
Yeah, he lost that man, bro.
You never see running backs run that much down the field, and then, as you said, he lost him. You know,
Yeah.
that was a risky throw. Though Mahomes shouldn't be doing that. But I thought the one thing that he did good was that he didn't force the ball down the field too much. He took the check downs with the running back Williams, who had over 100 yards. uh, the fake punt was nice. That caught him off guard.
For sure.
The Raiders dropped like 2 picks. You know, they had chances. Travis Kelsey just destroyed their defense. They were playing cover 2, so he would just go in the middle and he would be wide open. And then obviously, as we all know, he's the best tight end in the game. But just he's literally like a wide receiver actually who catches the ball. Like, he's one of the best like ever to like catch and then like run after catching the ball. You know, Darren Waller got locked down by Honey Badger. You know,
Yeah.
one thing we saw is that Kelsey, like, one thing I noticed, like every like other play, obviously not every play, but damn near every play, Kelsey, he would block like half block with somebody, like double block, and then he would just escape to catch. Uh, Hill had 83 yards.
The Chiefs
Excellent
are
night
back.
for
That's
Chiefs.
not. I just think that they were never. They have their slumps, but I think
They're
they're
back.
back. The offense was clicking, and they play the Cowboys next week, and I think the Chiefs will win that game because Mahomes owns the Cowboys, even though they haven't
Homeboy,
played.
Dak
But
boy.
no, that'll be a good game. That'll be America's game of the week for sure next week. But moving on, the Sunday night football game. Take it away. What was your thoughts on that? The Niners just destroying the Rams at home on Monday night.
The disappointing point for the Rams is that they're known for their defense, right? They have Aaron Donald, they have Fuller, they got traded for Von Miller, but
They are 0-5 against
Matthew
Debo Samuel.
Stafford,
Debo Samuel went crazy yesterday.
he went crazy.
Yeah.
Matthew Stafford had and that, bro, OBJ. It was his first game, and then he throws him the ball down the field when you don't know what he does. Like, he wouldn't know what he does,
Yeah.
and then it got picked obviously, and then like the thing with OBJ, I thought he was nicked up because he only caught 2 balls for 18 yards. He didn't even get enough targets, but they couldn't even play him because the game got out of hand, so they couldn't do hurdles. So they were trying to do like, no hurdles, and then OBJ didn't know, like, he had no chemistry with them. You know, he's only been with them for like 2 3 days, so he didn't know what to expect from the quarterback. He didn't know what route to run for that specific play, and I, OBJ was supposed to be like a luxury, and then Robert Woods gets hurt the next day, so now he's not. He got signed because Jefferson's good, but
Yeah.
he drops too many balls. Like we saw last week, he dropped like 3 balls, and then This week he had another 2 drops. So that's why they got OBJ so that Woods can be their second, OBJ third, and then Jefferson fourth. But now OBJ is like he's not a luxury no more. He's a necessity, you know.
Yeah.
He might have to be their second best wide receiver after Cooper Cup,
No,
who's been going crazy this season.
yeah, no, I agree. I mean, I just think that this was an aberration of a game for the Rams. They'll bounce back for sure. I still see them as
They've
Super
lost
Bowl.
2 games now.
Yeah, I still see them as Super Bowl contenders. So we'll see how it goes for them. But that's pretty
They're
much.
bye week now.
Yeah. Heading to their bye week. But that's pretty much it, guys, for the NFL Week 10 recap. We hope you guys enjoyed our today's podcast episode. Let me know what was your thoughts on the NBA and did your favorite NFL team win today or lose? Before we end this video, make sure to like, comment, subscribe for more NFL and NBA content. And that's pretty much it, guys. You want to say anything else before we leave, Raza?
Yeah, man. I just wanted to say how about them Cowboys, bro. Let's go. We got this. We about to go to the Super Bowl.
And Heineke
Y'all not
owns
going nowhere.
Heineke owns Brady, something the Cowboys couldn't do. All right, guys. Peace.